It's Fill Your Plate Now, where every bite brings you closer to the farm gate and further from what's unhealthy. Now here's your hosts, Julie and Tammy, helping you live well by filling your plate well.
Well, Julie, today, we always talk about farm to table. And today we hit something right in the middle, a really important part of that whole food process, taking it from the farm, processing it into something that we want to eat or drink, and then to the table.
Yeah, the product development to me has always been fascinating.
And this is really fascinating because it's not just the product development, it's adding other things or taking out other things to make the product that's most desirable to consumers and making a product healthier for consumers or adding more protein to a product. And it really is an art to have that taste profile as well as have the nutrition profile.
Yeah.
So today we have Michelle Hafez from Shamrock Farms and Shamrock Foods, and she is the Vice President of Product Development. She actually has over 25 years of experience in this area, and she has a Bachelor of Science in Food Science and Nutrition from Chapman University. Prior to working for Shamrock, she also worked for the Dunkin' Baskin Robbins brand. So she has a vast array of experience, and I'm really excited to hear more about your background and how you got interested in this area, Michelle. So, why don't we toss it to you and let you just tell us a little more about yourself and how all this evolved?
Yes, well, thank you. First and foremost, I'm really excited to be talking with the both of you today. So, thank you for having me and inviting me to join you. So, as you said, my name is Michelle Hafez, and I am the Vice President of Product Development for Shamrock Farms. I've been with Shamrock Farms for nearly 20 years, and I currently lead their product development team. So, in the 20 years I've been with Shamrock, I've helped launch numerous new innovation and new products to the market that you could see on the shelf today. My love for cooking and food and product development really started at a young age. I spent countless hours in the kitchen, baking, cooking, creating recipes. And when it came time to pursue a higher education, I took that passion and applied it to what I wanted to do with my career. So I obtained my Bachelor's of Science in Food Science and Nutrition from Chapman University. And so I was just able to take that love of baking and creating and coming up with new products and apply it to a career. In my early days, I did work for Baskin Robbins and Dunkin' Brands. So I led their product development team for the Baskin Robbins side. So I developed new ice cream flavors and frozen desserts. And then, keeping with the dairy aspect, I moved on to Shamrock Farms, where I've been for the past 2 decades and really just love what I do and love that I could take that passion of food and apply it to what I do.
Michelle, I can also say that I've worked at Arizona Farm Bureau for 20 years, almost 20 years. So we must have started our current
Perfect.
positions around the same time. I know, that's kind of fun. And learning a little bit more about your specific role in product development, when it comes to what you do, are you strictly on dairy or do you cross over to the other broader food service side of the business?
So, in my current position, I do focus primarily on the dairy division, and that's our Shamrock Farms division. However, with Shamrock Farms, we have both a retail as well as a food service side of the business. So, you can enjoy our farm fresh dairy products both in home and out of the home as well. So, our food service team delivers Shamrock Farms products to over 3,500 restaurants in Arizona alone, and with many of the top chefs in the valley preferring and requesting our products. So, the dairy aspect of Shamrock Farms extends much further than just the retail shelf. So, you could find our products really anywhere you go in Arizona and outside of Arizona as well. And Shamrock Farms is more than just fluid milk. In fact, we have a full line of fresh dairy products ranging from your fluid milk to cultured products like sour cream, cottage cheese, buttermilk. We have a full line of innovative flavored milks as well as our award-winning rock and protein shakes.
Yeah, I have been the beneficiary of trying, I think, probably almost every product because I just love it and especially love Rockin' Protein. Great product. And now with the new dietary guidelines, that extra protein is becoming really important. People are trying to find sources of high quality protein, and having that extra protein in those dairy products and milk products is really important. I think it's a real advantage, particularly for those that are on weight loss medications. So you were ahead of your time in developing that one.
That's what we like to say. We are ahead of the curve.
And you talked about all the different areas where Shamrock product is. You are all over the community and food service, schools, restaurants, retail, but also very community oriented. Talk to us a little bit about how some of the innovation that you've created has helped to get you out into the community and help with those in need.
Yeah, definitely. So at Shamrock, we really place a large emphasis on supporting those in need, especially in our community, in our own backyard. So we have a long-standing partnership with St. Mary's Food Bank. In fact, we're just down the road from St. Mary's, and we've donated hundreds of thousands of servings of milk and dairy products on an annual basis. And what's really great about this is milk is one of the most requested food products at food banks, and it's very important to Shamrock to serve our community with nutritious and fresh milk. It's in our core values that we make sure that our products are available to those in need.
I have a question about innovation and coming up with new products. Where does that cycle begin? Does it begin because you guys track customer commentaries or requests, special needs, or new R&D has come out as it relates to your products? Where does that life cycle, I guess, of product development begin?
Well, the exciting thing is that there is no true starting point to innovation. Innovation is all around us. So, innovation and new concepts can come from multiple sources. So, my team on the product development side, we work with industry experts, our ingredient vendors, and we are constantly monitoring trends in not just the dairy category, but also the food and beverage category. We even have our eyes on what's going on in the spirits category or what innovation is happening at high-end bars to see how we could apply those flavor trends to the dairy category. So we work closely with our brand marketing team on consumer research and trend spotting, and our insights and analytics team on new product launches and emerging brands and products as well. So, consumer research is really key to innovation because it allows us to test our product concepts as well as our packaging to ensure that when we do get to the launch phase, we have the most successful products that we can have. So we really rely heavily on that feedback from consumers before our products are even on shelf.
No, I was just going to say I'll volunteer for product testing if you have that phase in the
Uh,
supply chain. No.
I was just thinking we should have had her in live and we could have done a taste test on all those things she's talking about.
Yes.
Yes, well, we will make sure to get some of our new products over to you to taste because we always love the feedback and sharing what our new products are. But what I was going to say is that innovation also goes above and beyond just trends in flavors and new products. So, innovation is also technology based. So, technology is constantly evolving in the dairy industry, and this could range from product enhancements on the production line, such as automation or shelf life extending packaging, but also to ingredient functionality. So, in the 20 years that I've been at Shamrock Farms, I'm amazed at how far technology has come from an ingredient standpoint. So, we are able to work with ingredient vendors to take out an ingredient and replace it with something else, or reduce our sugar content, or reduce our sodium content just by using technology advancements in the ingredient space. So, it's really exciting to see what the industry can do, both from a manufacturing equipment and a packaging, as well as the advancements that we've seen in ingredients as well.
And I know that it's really an art. You really, you're very good at what you do because you also have to make sure the taste is there as well as whatever the reformulation is. And just as an example, I know a couple of years ago, we know that kids love flavored milk in school, but a couple of years ago, to try to make a healthier product, you all reduce the amount of sugar in chocolate milk, and in the flavored milks just to make sure they had a healthier product, but you still had to maintain the taste. Can you walk us through an example like that or use that as an example on the different steps you go through to get from that concept to the actual product? Because, I know you can't just snap your fingers and it's there. I know there's a lot of testing and a lot of things involved.
Yeah, well, let's talk about the school milk because you mentioned that. So let's talk about that for a minute, and then I will back up and we could kind of walk through the different steps of the product development life cycle. But I'm really excited about the school milk, so I'd love to be able to share with the team the advancements that we've done there. So as you mentioned, it's not just reformulating. We have to make sure that our taste remains best of class. And at Shamrock, everything we do, taste is key. So we need to make sure that that is the forefront of everything we do. And we feel as though Shamrock Farms is really a champion of milk in schools. We stay ahead of the evolving regulations. And the one that you mentioned is reducing the sugar content in flavored milk. So a few years ago, flavored milk was actually at risk in schools. There was many districts that were talking about removing flavored milk due to the added sugar content and just offering the children with white milk. However, we know as an industry that consumption of milk goes down significantly when flavored milk is taken out of schools. And the nutritional benefits of flavored milk in school really outweigh any added sugar that you'd find in flavored milk because whether it's flavored milk or white milk, you still have the 13 essential nutrients that are found in milk. And both flavored milk and white milk are powerhouses of protein and calcium, which are key nutrients in children's diets and also lacking in many diets. So we were able to reformulate our flavored milks. We were able to reduce the added sugar to less than 10 grams of added sugar per serving, and we were able to maintain our taste. In fact, we did taste panels with food service directors across Arizona and found that there was no noticeable difference in our reduced sugar formula. And what I like to say is we were actually able to save flavored milks in schools because after that reformulation and that meeting with food service directors, not one single district took out flavored milk, even though multiple districts were threatening that they were going to remove flavored milk from schools. So we have a product that tastes just as great as our higher sugar formula, and we were able to reformulate without the use of any artificial sweeteners or high intensity sweeteners. So we were really excited to keep flavored milks in schools and keep offering the kids the products that they love.
Powerful story about how important it is to get the product right and then really take care of your customers.
Well, and we know that in most schools, it's more than 50% of the kids that choose a flavored milk. So if they don't have flavored milk, they're going to miss out on all those nutrients.
Wow. You've developed,
Exactly.
yeah, you've developed in your nearly 20 career with Shamrock Farms a lot of really cool products. Can you share some of your favorites, what they were and what you and your team did?
Yeah, so it's so hard to pick a favorite because I love everything that I develop and I just really love seeing the products that my team has created on shelf. But I would have to say the Rockin' protein shakes really hold a special place in my heart. And the reason for this is these were actually an extremely challenging product to develop as we were entering a whole new space in the dairy category. So back in 2005, 2007 when we began developing Rockin' Protein. It was a new marketplace. Protein fortification was not something that was accustomed to in the dairy case, and there really weren't a lot of protein shakes on the market. So we actually worked with our partners, and research at the time came out that chocolate milk was the perfect post-workout recovery beverage. And we were like, wait a second, we have chocolate milk. We could definitely play in this space. So we took all of the positive aspects of chocolate milk and we made it even better by adding additional protein fortification. So we developed a best in class post-workout recovery beverage that also tasted great, which was key. But as consumer needs evolved, there became a need for higher protein. So that is where we took our Rockin' Protein line into our 30-gram protein shakes. And we were really the first of a kind and an industry disruptor to the dairy category because most of the protein shakes out at the time were chalky, they were bland, they had a bad aftertaste. But with Rockin' Protein, we were able to develop in a ready to drink beverage with 30 grams of protein, none of that chalky aftertaste that you were accustomed to, in a great tasting product. And it's great tasting because it's made with Shamrock Farms milk. And our Shamrock Farms milk comes from our very own farm just down the street. So it's amazing. And to see how that product line has grown over the past 15 to 20 years has just we started with 3 flavors in one size, and we now have flavor expansion into multiple flavors, multiple sizes. We even offer 4 packs and 12 packs for those consumers who are looking for the multi-pack option. So I'd have to say Rockin' Protein is probably the products category that I'm the most proud of because it was the most challenging and I've seen the most success come out of that product line. But a close second would have to be our vanilla spice eggnog. We developed and launched vanilla spice eggnog 2 years ago as a line extension to our holiday eggnog category. So while it's not currently on shelves because we're out of the holiday season, it just really is one of the best tasting products out in the market, even for people who are not fans of traditional eggnog. If you get into the vanilla spice eggnog or our pumpkin spice or other flavor offerings, it really just opens up eggnog to multiple different users. And that's something I look forward to every year. So come October when we start producing, I turn into a very happy individual because my vanilla spice is finally back.
I love that vanilla spice. That is great. And I learned the hard way that you only do the run of those products for a certain amount of time because I went back to get more. And apparently everybody else loved it too because it was gone. But great product.
And I love the protein drink. So you're really satisfying a range of customers and you're in your sweet spot, uh, metaphorically meant, I guess, because you guys produce milk and you're making a diverse array of products for a clientele that has always new and emerging needs.
Absolutely. And going back to some of those innovations, any new products for schools or universities, which I know you also supply, that are on the horizon or coming out?
So for new products, yes, I'm very excited to say, and I could share this because we have recently launched. So we actually have 2 new products in our portfolio that were produced and launched last month. So they're just starting to show up on store shelves. So keeping with the Rockin' Protein line, how I mentioned we've seen a lot of growth in that product category. We launched our new chocolate banana Rockin' Protein, and that's actually in our 50-gram product offering. So, um, chocolate banana is our newest flavor, and it is currently on store shelves. And initial consumer feedback that we've received is very positive. People are loving that combination of chocolate with the fresh banana flavor because when you make a protein shake at home, what's one of the things that you throw into a protein shake? You throw a banana in. So you're getting that chocolate banana flavor. That's been a great hit. And then also to our flavored milk line, our latest introduction, also launched in late January, is our chocolate caramel milk. So it's a really indulgent, delicious. It has a rich chocolate with a buttery caramel flavor. That's sure to be a hit as well. And then we talked about school milk briefly, but to add on to school milk, we have a limited time offering program in schools. And this is great because it allows excitement with school children. And our newest flavor is actually being launched at the end of this month. So, in Arizona or anywhere Shamrock Farm services, school kids will actually have the option of having our new cookies and cream limited time offering milk. And the great thing about this flavor is it meets all of those school requirements with the reduced added sugar and in a great tasting flavor that kids know and love. Kids love milk. So the fact that we could just continue bringing new products and delicious tasting products to kids, it's really going to get them to be consumers for life. So in Arizona, kids know Shamrock Farms because they go to school from a very early age, seeing Shamrock Farms, drinking Shamrock Farms, and then they could get it for the rest of their lives with all of our other product offerings.
Customer preferences shift a lot. Well, maybe not a lot, but they certainly shift. Some things that I want in my daily meal plan are different today than they were, even a year ago. What trends are you seeing with as you track your consumers that you're maybe having to shift to or is influencing you creating another product? Or it's maybe in the same product line, but it's a new flavor. You've kind of alluded to that with some of the other things you've just discussed, bringing on these new flavors. But how do you manage that?
Yeah, so we've touched a little bit with different questions on some of these hot topics or hot trends that we're seeing, but protein. Anywhere you go, you're seeing protein. Any aisle of the grocery store, it's protein, protein, protein. And the fantastic thing about dairy and milk products is the protein is already there. Like, we don't even have to do anything to have a protein rich product offering. We just need to re educate consumers that dairy and milk products can be a great source of protein. For instance, cottage cheese is an excellent source of protein. It already has 13 grams of protein per half cup serving. And while we've been offering cottage cheese since the beginning, now it's just keeping up with the demand because there's been such a surge in cottage cheese due to consumer interest that cottage cheese is really on fire because protein is on fire. So cottage cheese is the perfect protein snack that's not just being used as a snack or a food, but it's being used as an ingredient. I like to say goodbye to avocado toast because cottage cheese toast is the new hot item. People are putting cottage cheese on everything and in everything to bump up that protein content. And then also just the nutrient dense food products. So whole milk, higher fat dairy products, they've made a comeback. They're no longer in the doghouse or considered a negative. Well, there's just a push for those real foods, and milk plays such an important role because it's a nutrient dense food packed full of protein and calcium, especially with the increase in all of the GLP-1 users and medications and diets. So, dairy really is that nutrient powerhouse that could fit into these healthy lifestyles and really be what consumers are looking for. I know we've talked about Rockin' Protein a lot, but it's this perfect product that also fits all of these lifestyle categories because it's high in protein, it has no added sugar, and it has a good source of dietary fiber, which just aids in digestion, just making it one of those nutrient dense food products people are looking for.
Michelle, I'm so glad you mentioned cottage cheese because it's risen on my list of items that I now consistently purchase. And even 2 years ago, I wouldn't say that was the case. But there's an influencer on Instagram, and her base for everything she does for a quick, high protein meal is cottage cheese. And she's really come up with some really cool combos that I have now applied. And it's like, this is very yummy. So cottage cheese has become my base a lot of times.
I know. I've started putting like cut up little cherry tomatoes and
Yes.
basil and kind of like a caprese salad, but with cottage cheese.
Yeah.
Just
I
to
love
get
that
that
one.
protein. And I mean, cottage cheese, other dairy, they're all high quality proteins, so they're better absorbed,
Mhm.
and you're getting a great amount of protein in dairy. So
Absolutely.
rockin' protein is
Rocking it.
front and center. Rocking it. There you go. Rockin' protein's rocking it.
It is.
So, Michelle, working for Shamrock as long as you have, I'm sure you have learned a lot about the consumers. What are they most surprised to learn about Shamrock?
Well, something that I feel like everybody doesn't know and is that Shamrock Farms is actually a fourth generation family owned and operated company. So our roots are in Arizona. We've been in business for over 100 years, and we not only are a family owned and operated manufacturing facility, but we have our own farm just outside of Phoenix. So about an hour outside of Phoenix, we have a farm that is open to the public, and we welcome over 10,000 visitors on an annual basis. A lot of those visitors are actually school children, and we have a farm tour. So schools could come on field trips out to our farm. You could meet our cows, maybe even Roxy, our spokes cow. You could pet baby calves, and you could try our delicious Shamrock Farms milk products. So it's a great experience for kids, families, school tours. So anything that you would need to know, you could find on our website, shamrockfarms.net. And it's a great opportunity. We have events out there as well, our Joy to the Herd in the winter, and some other fun events and happenings that go on out there at our farm.
I was just going to ask, how could our listeners find out more about the tours? And you just gave the website, but we can also include that in the descriptor with the podcast so that they can find it there as well.
I was just going to say our website, shamrockfarms.net, is a great resource for not only all of our products, but the information for our farm tour as well when we are open and when the tours are being offered.
Michelle, the Shamrock Farm story is a really neat story, and certainly people can discover that on the website. But knowing the family that you work for and the dedication they have to meeting customer needs and providing a quality food product that they've been doing for an extended period of time, what does that compel you in your position to do or to be? Has it been an inspiration to work for Shamrock?
Well, after 20 years or almost 20 years, I would say yes, that it has. The Shamrock team is my family. They are my Shamrock family, and they just inspire me to continue coming to work every day and doing the best that I can. And we are given all the resources that we need to continue making sure that our products are best in class and that our dairy products are the most wholesome and nutritious and safest products out on the market. So, one challenge that we have in the industry is that not all dairies are the same and not all milk products are the same. So, I've said it multiple times that taste is key at Shamrock. We are never going to put something out on the shelf that is not the best tasting product out in the market. So taste is key, quality is key. The dairy industry is highly regulated, and we go above and beyond those standards on a daily basis at Shamrock to make sure that we are providing consumers and customers with the best possible products.
That I love all of the products, but I haven't tried those newest products that just came out, so I'm gonna have to do that, that's for sure. Um, looking at consumer research, which I know you do as you're developing products, do you see anything coming down the road, new opportunities or new product lines that there would be a demand for?
Yeah, so we are monitoring the trends and monitoring what's going on. For us right now, it's just key to have a pipeline built of great tasting products that are available to be launched. So the typical product development cycle is between 6 and 18 months, depending on the complexity of the product. So we are working a year, 2 years out on what is going to be launched based on the research that we have back right now. So whether that's a new innovation, a new innovating flavor to our flavored milk category, whether that is a fortification of some sort to our rock and protein line. Is there additional benefits that we could add to any of our product lines? So we're constantly monitoring those trends to make sure we're staying at the forefront because continuing to innovate creates excitement, it creates new news, and it keeps consumers coming back to the dairy category.
So this may be top secret and I don't have permission to ask it, but are there any new products that are about to be launched that we can get a sneak peek? We understand if it's undercover and we can't, but never hurts to ask.
Well, I gave my little sneak peek of the chocolate banana and chocolate caramel because those still are showing up on store shelves. But what we are also seeing that's going to be launched is new pack sizes for the Rockin' Protein. So we're expanding our multi-pack offering into a 4-pack. So you'll be able to get Rockin' Protein instead of a single serve bottle. You could get it in a 4-pack because what we have found is those consumers that love our products, we have a true following and they're going to the dairy case and buying multiple units at the same time. So why not make it easier for those consumers to give them those multi-pack options? So we're seeing expansion in our multi-pack flavor options.
I'm glad you said that because I'm one of those customers that grabs more than one. Grab several. I don't clear out the
Correct.
case. I don't clear out the case. I will say that, but
Well, yeah, and you haven't lived until you've had kids that are athletes.
oh my goodness.
And they want something in the morning, but they're not really hungry yet, and the bus is picking them up at, like, 7 in the morning, and they're taking, like, 3 of these rockin' proteins because that'll hold them over until they can actually have a meal, but
Well,
that is great to hear. I think that's going to be in high demand. But, just to wrap things up, we've talked about a variety of things. For our listeners, what would you say the 3 key takeaways are that you'd like to leave them with?
Yeah, well, definitely, I would say taste is king. At Shamrock, we will never sacrifice on taste. And the reason our products are so good is that we start with the highest quality milk from our own farm. So we follow the milk through the entire cycle. And that is why our products are the best tasting around. And that goes for our Shamrock Farms products as well as our Rockin' Protein because Rockin' Protein starts with Shamrock Farms milk. And then healthy lifestyle. Milk and dairy are so well positioned as a part of a healthy diet. Whether it's white milk or flavored milk, we know that milk has 13 essential nutrients and is a powerhouse of protein and calcium. So the shift to nutrient dense, real foods, dairy is the perfect fit for those two lifestyle categories. And then Shamrock Farms, we're your hometown dairy. We're invested in our community and we have been since 1922. We have our own farm and our own products are made right here in Arizona. You could come out to our farm and see it all for yourself.
That's fantastic. And as Julie said, you guys are rocking it with all those great products. And we really appreciate having you here today with us. Thank you so much for your time. And hopefully, we can have you on again sometime.
Yes, thank you for having me. And this was fantastic.